In 1692, in a village called Salem, two girls began to twitch. Within a year, 19 people were hanged, one was crushed to death under stones, and the village had turned on itself. For 3 centuries we have asked one question: what made them do it? The most popular answer today is a lie, and the truth is far more frightening, because it never left us. To understand Salem, forget the pointed hats and broomsticks. Picture instead a cold, frightened frontier settlement, convinced the devil was real, and lived in the woods at the edge of town. This was Puritan Massachusetts, and fear was the water they swam in. Arthur hitisodly to be anteros discation 2900 his doggedis come. The village was already breaking. A brutal war with native peoples had sent refugees flooding south. Smallpox stalked the towns. Families feuded bitterly over land and church power. Into this pressure cooker of dread and grievance, a single spark would be enough. That spark came in the home of the village minister, Samuel Parris. His 9-year-old daughter Betty and 11-year-old niece Abigail began to convulse. They screamed, contorted their bodies, and complained of being pricked by invisible pins. No one could calm them. The village doctor, William Griggs, examined the girls and could find nothing wrong with their bodies. So he reached for the only explanation his world allowed. This, he declared, was not illness. The girls were bewitched. And with that single word, a medical mystery became a manhunt. Pressed to name their tormentor, the girls named 3 women. The first was Tituba, an enslaved woman in the Paris household, with no family and no power to defend herself. She was the perfect target, and what she did next poured gasoline on the fire. Tituba did not deny it. She confessed. She spun a vivid tale of a tall man in black, of a book she was made to sign, of other witches whose names she did not know. And the court noticed something. Those who confessed and accused others were spared. Those who insisted they were innocent were hanged. Read that again, because it is the whole machine. The system rewarded accusation and punished honesty. To save yourself, you named someone else. Fear became a currency, and everyone was suddenly rich with reasons to spend it on a neighbor they already resented. The court then made its fatal choice. It accepted spectral evidence, testimony that an accuser had seen the ghost or spectre of the accused tormenting them. Evidence no one else could see, that could not be disproven. Once you allow that, anyone can be a witch. Everyone is guilty by imagination. And notice what the system never required. Proof. Not a body, not a weapon, not a witness that anyone else could question. Only the confidence of the accuser and the fear of the crowd. A machine that runs on certainty needs no evidence at all. The machine, once started, could not tell friend from enemy. Giles Corey, over 80 years old, refused to even enter a plea, knowing the trial was rigged. So they laid him on the ground, placed a heavy board on his chest, and piled on stones to force him to speak. For 2 days he endured it. His only recorded words were 3. More weight. The accusations spread far beyond Salem village. More than 200 people were jailed, among them a respected former minister and a girl only 4 years old. The cells overflowed. No family was safe because the logic had no flaw. Anyone could be named, and being named was nearly enough. The panic only broke when it climbed too high. When accusers began climbed Youngner a Martha who and it climbed used me. When accusers began naming the powerful and the well-connected, the authorities suddenly rediscovered doubt. A leading minister declared it was better that 10 suspected witches escape than that one innocent person be condemned. Spectral evidence was thrown out. Almost overnight, the convictions stopped. All desires to find a prominently to hurtful eater doing for through horrible. And then came the reckoning. Years later, the colony admitted its horror. One of the judges stood in church while his confession of guilt was read aloud. The jurors signed a statement of regret. Massachusetts eventually paid restitution to the families. Salem did not need to be told it had killed witches. It came to understand it had killed neighbors. Now here is where the modern mind wants a clean escape. In 1976, a scientist proposed that the girls were not lying or hysterical. They were poisoned. Ergot, a fungus on rye bread, produces hallucinations and convulsions. Case closed. It felt like science had solved Salem, but historians took it apart. The symptoms did not match ergot poisoning. The affliction started and stopped on cue, targeting specific enemies. The theory cherry-picked the records and ignored the rest. Today, the serious historians of Salem do not even include it. The moldy bread story is itself a kind of fake news, one we keep repeating because it is comforting. And that is the trap. We reach for the fungus because a chemical is easier to accept than the truth. That ordinary, frightened people, given the right incentives, will destroy their neighbors and believe they are doing good. No poison required. Strip Salem to its mechanism and you find 3 parts. A community drowning in fear and stress. A shared belief that named an invisible enemy, and a system that rewarded accusing others over telling the truth. Put those 3 together and you do not need witches. The panic builds itself. 2.5 centuries later, a playwright named Arthur Miller watched his own country do it again. Neighbors naming neighbors before a committee. Careers destroyed by accusation alone. The accused begged to confess and inform on others. He called his play The Crucible and set it in Salem. He did not have to change the mechanism, only the costumes. And if you think this died with the Puritans, look at how a rumor moves through a crowd online today. The invisible enemy, the pressure to denounce before you are denounced, the evidence no one can check. We took spectral evidence and we gave it a feed. Salem never ended. It scaled. Fear can make a village hang its own. But what happens when the fear is engineered on purpose by someone who profits from it? In 1938, a single radio broadcast tested exactly that. That file is next. The archive stays open.